Most of the battles you're fighting right now, the tearful arguments that leave you drained, the slow burn tension that follows you into every quiet moment, the moments where your chest tightens, your thoughts race. None of these are really about facts. They are battles against psychological shadows. They are conflicts born from subtle manipulation, carefully engineered to pull you into chaos without you even noticing. And the world, unfortunately, has lied to you about how to respond. It wants you to believe you must fight a manipulator with anger, with frantic explanations, with endless emotional defenses that only exhaust you further. But that entire approach is a trap. Drama is their oxygen, their fuel, the stage on which they thrive. Epictetus warned us long before any of this modern chaos existed. What disturbs men is not things, but the views which they take of them. Manipulators understand this better than you do. They don't want control over the situation. They want control over your interpretation. They want to twist your perception until you can't trust your own mind, your own instincts, your own truth. But here's the one thing they fear more than anything else: a calm, unwavering person who knows how to ask the right questions. Because the right question doesn't simply interrupt their plan, it punctures the illusion they hide behind. It brings light into the darkness they depend on. It forces them to face something they cannot manipulate: clarity. Today, on Stoic Sage Academy, I'm giving you 7 Stoic questions drawn from ancient wisdom, sharpened by psychological insight, that instantly expose a manipulator. No drama, no shouting, no emotional spiraling. This is how you reclaim your peace without lifting your voice even once. After this lesson, you will rise above the emotional games that keep 99% of people trapped. You will see the hidden mechanics behind manipulation, not as attacks on your strength, but as attacks on your perception. And once you see clearly, manipulation collapses. The ultimate Stoic weapon has never been resistance. It has always been revelation. These questions are surgical, silent, precise. Ask them, and you will watch the entire dynamic of a conversation shift in real time. You'll watch the manipulator lose control of the game they thought they'd mastered. So the only question left is this: are you ready to step into a level of composure so powerful it becomes dangerous? Let's begin. Part 1. Why questions make a manipulator flee. The manipulator lives by mist and motion. Their power comes from a half-lit stage, blurred facts, accelerated feelings, and carefully dropped fragments of truth that never get sewn together. Marcus Aurelius gave us the antidote in one sentence: if it is not clear, make music it clear. That single instruction is a scalpel against every trick they use. A manipulator depends on fog. They feed on your haste, on doubt, on that uncomfortable itch that keeps you talking rather than seeing. Clarity is the threat they dread, because clarity demands a ledger, and ledgers require names, dates, and reasons. A manipulator needs the conversation to stay sticky and slow, so responsibility can slip away. The Stoic answer is surgical: precise questions that cut through the sludge. A well-placed question performs 4 acts at once. Music: it compels clarity, and clarity strips their camouflage. It demands accountability, and accountability makes them stumble. It slows the tempo, and in that pause, their mirrors stop reflecting. It unmasks motive, and motives, once exposed, are brittle. Notice this: these questions are not weapons meant to punish. They are instruments of revelation. You do not ask to trap, you ask to illuminate. Once the light is on, the performance collapses, and the need for combat disappears. Part 2. How to ask, and why the form matters. Now we begin. Treat each question like a careful incision. Deliver it slowly, evenly, without heat. No theatrical indignation, no pleading. Do not argue, only request. Your voice should be neutral, the calm of someone cataloging facts, not someone baiting a reaction. Remember, your goal is truth, not victory. Truth dissolves manipulation. Pause after each question long enough for silence to work. Silence is the Stoic amplifier. It makes the answer honest, or it leaves the manipulator exposed by their evasion. When you speak, keep 3 things present: economy, precision, and neutrality. Economy: Use no extra words that can be twisted. Precision. Name the fact, the date, the claim. Neutrality. Remove moral color. You are an investigator, not a prosecutor. Ask these questions not to shame but to reveal. That's the difference. The manipulator can survive clever retorts and loud defenses. They cannot survive a calm mind that insists everything be named. When you train this way, you stop reacting to drama and start collecting facts. And when facts outweigh fiction, manipulation dies quietly, without spectacle. Question 1. Can you clarify what you mean? A manipulator survives on the shadows between words. They rely on blurred statements, emotional fog, and vague accusations because ambiguity is the perfect hiding place. And so you will often hear the same familiar lines. Honestly, it just feels like you never listen. You always mess things up. People have been talking about it. You know what I mean. No, you don't know what they mean. And they're counting on that. These are not innocent comments. They are emotional smokescreens crafted to make you doubt you. They are soft traps, not clear statements, but psychological nudges meant to push you into apologizing, defending, or explaining yourself for something that hasn't even been defined. A Stoic never accepts fog as truth. By calmly saying, "Can you clarify what exactly you mean here?" you are flipping the entire dynamic. You force the manipulator to step out of generalities and into precision, something they absolutely hate. The moment you ask this question, watch what happens. They hesitate. They get frustrated. They start circling around the original point, or they quickly change the subject. Why? Because clarity demands accountability, and manipulation dissolves the instant accountability appears. Say it without a tremor, without irritation, without defending yourself. Say it like a surgeon asking for the exact location of an incision. Remember the Stoic principle behind this. Clarity is control. When you define the terms, you define the reality, and the manipulator loses their grip instantly. Question 2. What evidence are you basing that claim on? This question is where the entire conversation shifts, where emotion ends and reason begins. When you ask this, you are no longer playing their game. You are turning the interaction into a courtroom where facts rule and theatrics die. Manipulators depend on emotional pressure, not rational proof. They expect you to drown in feeling, not rise with logic. Their accusations are almost always supported by assumptions, dramatization, and imagined narratives, rarely by anything concrete. So when they make a claim designed to shame or corner you, you counter with the Stoic blade. What evidence are you basing that on? Watch their structure collapse. Their script relies on vague emotional claims like, "You should know," or "It's obvious." But evidence demands specificity, and specificity is their enemy. Typical manipulator responses. They pivot away from the topic. They attack your character. They become theatrically offended. They accuse you of being cold or uncaring. Every one of these reactions is confirmation that they lack the one thing they hoped you'd never ask for: proof. A Stoic understands this law of the mind. Never accept a claim simply because it's delivered with intensity. Your responsibility to yourself is to test every impression, every accusation, every insinuation, every emotional push. It must survive the scrutiny of logic before it is allowed to enter your mental world. Their fear of being asked for evidence is the evidence of your strength. Question 3. Is that your feeling, or is that a fact? This question is the separation blade, the tool that divides reality from emotion. Manipulators specialize in one thing: transforming their temporary feelings into unquestionable truths, and then handing those truths to you as if you must carry them. "You embarrassed me on purpose. You don't care about me. You're trying to hurt me." These statements sound like certainties, but they are not. They are interpretations, feelings dressed up as facts. And as a Stoic, you know one of the oldest truths in philosophy. Events don't disturb us, our interpretations do. By calmly asking, "Is that your feeling, or is that a fact?" you draw a sharp boundary they cannot cross without exposing themselves. This question forces them to acknowledge their subjectivity. "This is how I felt," instead of, "This is what you actually did." When their emotional narrative can no longer be disguised as reality, their power evaporates. You are not attacking their feelings. You are not invalidating their perspective. You are simply refusing to let their emotions rewrite the truth of what happened. Say this with a steady voice, and you will watch them do one of two things: retreat into their emotion, which reveals that there was no fact, or scramble desperately to convert their feeling back into a fact, which they can't do without contradicting themselves. The Stoic wisdom behind this is ancient and unshakable. What unsettles people is not the situation itself, but the judgment they attach to it. And by separating judgment from reality, you reclaim your mind and remove the manipulator's strongest weapon. Question 4. Who is responsible for this specific part? A manipulator survives the way a shadow survives, by staying attached to someone else. They drift away from accountability like smoke escaping a closed hand. If there is blame to place, they will place it anywhere but in their own lap. They will fault your tone, your timing, your past, your attitude, the weather, the alignment of the planets, anything that keeps them safely insulated from responsibility. But this question is a spotlight, not on emotion, not on drama, on action. By calmly asking, who is responsible for this specific part, you are refusing to drown in their emotional smog. You are pulling the conversation out of the realm of feeling and back into the clean, dry ground of fact and ownership. You are not accusing. You are examining. You are not attacking. You are assessing cause and effect, and within seconds, you will see them start to squirm. Their eyes shift, their voice sharpens, or they suddenly raise the volume. All signs that you have pointed directly at the piece they are desperate to hide. A Stoic knows this fundamental truth. You carry only what is yours, nothing more, nothing less. Your calm posture becomes an impenetrable wall. Their blame simply bounces off. The Stoic law behind this question is simple. Responsibility reveals character, and claiming it is power. Question 5. What exactly are you asking me to do? This is one of the most devastating questions in the psychological battlefield. Manipulators thrive in the fog of implication. They speak in hints, in sighs heavy enough to guilt you, but vague enough to deny. They want you to volunteer your time, your energy, your money, your reputation, without them ever having to say the words out loud. Why? Because an implied request cannot be rejected. A subtle nudge cannot be refused. A guilt-soaked hint cannot be held accountable. But the moment you ask, what exactly are you asking me to do? The entire game collapses. Now they have to step out of the shadows and declare the truth. Yes, I want you to sacrifice your plans for me. Yes, I want you to take the blame. Yes, I want you to fix the consequences of my choices. Yes, I want you to fix the consequences of my choices. I want your time, your money, your emotional labor. And once the request becomes explicit, you regain the power of choice. You can honor it, refuse it, negotiate it, but you do so consciously, not under emotional blackmail. The Stoic duty here is simple. Protect your inner domain. Guard your time. Safeguard your boundaries with precision. The principle behind this question: when a request is spoken plainly, manipulation dies instantly. Question 6. What outcome are you trying to create? Every manipulative exchange is engineered like a maze. The twists, the emotional spikes, the guilt, the self-pity, the sudden anger, all of it is designed to steer you toward a hidden destination. Compliance, sympathy, silence, obedience, or guilt. The manipulator doesn't want you to see where they're guiding you. They want you reacting, not observing. But this question is a map. It turns the maze into a single straight line. What outcome are you trying to achieve here? You are no longer tracking their emotions. You are tracking their intentions. If they are seeking pity, they must reveal it. If they are trying to control you, they must expose it. If they want you to surrender, they must admit it. And they hate this, because once you see the destination, their strategy disintegrates. They may accuse you of overthinking, judging, or being dramatic. This is simply the panic of someone whose machinery you have just uncovered. A Stoic judges a situation not by noise, but by outcome, not by the present emotion, but by the final goal. The principle here is ancient and razor sharp. Look beneath the surface. There lies the truth. Question 7. Why does this matter so much to you? This is the final incision, the deepest cut of all. Every manipulation has an engine, a core, a central motive that gives it life. And this question goes straight to that core. The manipulator fears this question because it forces them to confront the truth behind their behavior. Not the story they tell, not the drama they perform, but the actual motive. Fear, insecurity, control, validation, power, avoidance of responsibility. When you ask gently, "Why is this so important to you?" you pierce directly into the heart of their strategy. Deliver it with calm curiosity, not sarcasm, not accusation, just quiet, firm, surgical clarity. Their reaction will tell you everything. If they panic, you've hit the truth. If they deflect, you've touched the source. If they grow angry, you've revealed their weakness. If they end the conversation, the manipulation has collapsed. This question achieves the ultimate Stoic victory. You don't defeat manipulation. You remove the environment it needs to breathe. And when the motive is exposed, the drama becomes unnecessary. Part 3. The unraveling of the illusion. Once these questions leave your mouth, once you release these clean, surgical blades into the conversation, something powerful happens, and it has nothing to do with force. You don't argue, you don't chase, you don't raise your voice. You simply stand still and observe. This is the moment where the illusion begins to crack, not because you attacked them, but because their manipulation can no longer breathe in the oxygen of confusion. You will notice it instantly, not in a dramatic confession, but in their disintegration. Their composure, the one they crafted with false calm and forced neutrality, begins to slip. Their tone shifts. Their voice jumps an octave. Their breathing grows uneven. The rhythm of their speech becomes jagged, unstable, frantic. They can no longer maintain the mask they prepared. That instability you see, that is not anger. That is exposure. Watch for the predictable reactions. You're being cold. Why are you making this so complicated? You're twisting everything. These are not arguments. They are shields. They are flares fired into the sky by someone who has run out of logic, out of facts, out of narrative. They are attempting to suffocate your clarity with guilt and chaos, but they cannot. Not anymore. At this stage, the manipulator is only performing. Their entire influence rested on the belief that you would never ask questions, that you would accept their fog as truth. Now, with your quiet composure and relentless clarity, you have set their script on fire. Where the Stoics called upon logos, reason, structure, truth, manipulation withers. It cannot breathe in an environment where definitions, evidence, and intentions are required to survive. The sudden shift into the victim role is the final scene of the performance, a desperate attempt to reclaim power through guilt, pity, or emotional chaos. But you do not need to respond. You simply remain still, like a stone statue carved in bronze, untouched by drama, unmoved by emotional storms. This is not resistance. This is mastery. What you are witnessing in that moment is not your failure. It is undeniable proof that you have taken the wheel back. You have stepped out of the illusion, and the illusion collapses without your participation. You have already won. Part 4. Mastering the delivery. The Stoic way of asking. Now understand something vital. The questions alone are not what dismantle manipulation. It is the way you ask them. Someone can know every one of these 7 questions, memorize them word for word, and still lose if they deliver them with tension or anger. If you raise your voice, you re-enter the manipulator's arena. You begin to play their game, and the moment you step into emotional chaos, your clarity dissolves. This is where Stoic discipline becomes your greatest weapon. The secret is not volume, it is control. Lower your voice, slow your tempo, strip every ounce of emotional charge from your tone. Manipulators expect fire, they never expect stillness. Your calm does not soothe them, your calm terrifies them. Why? Because emotional neutrality forces them to rely on logic, and logic exposes everything they tried to hide. Speak with measured pauses. Let silence linger between your words. Silence is a battlefield most manipulators cannot tolerate. And here is a rule many people struggle with. Never justify the question you ask. You do not explain, defend, or soften your inquiry. The moment you start elaborating, "I'm not trying to accuse you, I'm just trying to understand. Don't get upset. I'm only asking," because you hand them the power back. A Stoic question is sharp because it stands alone. Your face remains neutral, not harsh, not cold, just still. Your body language relaxed, not defensive. Your attention present, not agitated. If they dodge, repeat the question slowly, unchanged. Do not chase their emotional detours. Do not explain why you are repeating yourself. Your repetition is the boundary. Because understand, your goal is not to overpower them. Your goal is to reveal what is real. And here is the final principle, the one that elevates you into complete mastery. Be prepared to walk away, not in anger, not in dramatic silence, but in full respect for your own peace. Manipulators survive by draining your attention. Your attention is their fuel source. When you show that you can end the interaction, calmly, cleanly, without guilt, you take away the one thing they rely on. A Stoic does not fear losing a conversation. A Stoic fears losing their clarity. Let your composure be the armor that nothing can penetrate. Let your calm be the mirror that reveals the truth. Let your silence be the force that ends the illusion. You are no longer participating in their story. You are writing your own. Conclusion: the Stoic mirror, reforged. A manipulator only breathes, only thrives, when you feed them the one thing they cannot generate on their own, your emotional reaction. They depend on your explanations. They depend on your frantic self-defense. They depend on your willingness to question your own perception instead of questioning their motives. But the moment you pause, the moment you reclaim your breath, and the moment you begin to release those surgical, precision-crafted questions, the entire dynamic shifts. Can you clarify that? What is your evidence? Is this a feeling or an actual fact? From that moment forward, you are no longer the hunted. You are the observer. You stop being the puppet. You stop being the emotional sponge. You become the mirror. And manipulators despise mirrors because mirrors expose what they work so hard to hide. Mirrors don't argue. Mirrors don't panic. Mirrors don't bend. A mirror simply reflects the truth with cold accuracy, and that truth dismantles everything they built on illusion. Today, through the questions you've learned, you've stepped into that role. Remember this core Stoic principle. A Stoic never wrestles for control. They dissolve the illusion, and control returns naturally. If this message from Stoic Sage Academy has shifted how you understand conflict, clarity, and personal power, take a moment to support this journey by liking the video and subscribing. Your growth strengthens this entire community. To anchor this lesson in your mind, comment the phrase, "My clarity is my power." And if you are ready to go even deeper, if you want to learn the exact Stoic phrases that silence disrespect, end emotional chaos, and command calm authority, watch the video appearing on your screen right now. It is your next step forward. Stay sharp, stay disciplined, stay unshaken, and above all, stay stoic.